PlayStation has made everybody mad on a random Wednesday morning in August. What's going on, you guys? Gaming Act here, coming at you with another video. Today we're going to be talking about PlayStation 5, talking about Sony, PlayStation Interactive, just the overall business of PlayStation. Now, for those of you who've been living under a rock, we've been going through a lot in terms of hardware when it comes to PlayStation and Xbox. You know, I like to bring a lot of the Xbox stuff to light because I care more about where that ecosystem, where that brand, where that hardware goes than necessarily PlayStation. Do I have an issue with PlayStation? No, it's just for the most part, a lot of the games that I look forward to playing is on the Xbox platform in terms of their studios making it, like Obsidian, you know, a lot of games like that. You know, I really enjoy those type of games. And when Xbox announced they're raising their prices, I disagreed. When Nintendo announced they're raising prices, I disagreed. And now, on August 21st, 2025, we are going to get to the point where PlayStation's raising their prices too. So, obviously, there is a lot of political stuff going on in the world right now. It's not gray and white. I mean, it's not black and white. There's a lot of gray in this situation. And for the most part, what you're seeing right now is a result in a lot of the political landscaping that's going on in the world right now. So let's pop over here to this statement from PlayStation blogs. As you can see, it is coming straight from the PlayStation blog. What is funny is Black Ops 7 is being promoted at the top, but I digress. We won't go into that. So PlayStation 5 price changes in the US. This was published today, August 20th, 2025. New prices effective starting on August 21st. 2025. I'll put the 2025 on there. You know what the crazy part about that is most of the time with these situations that goes down, they give you at least a couple months or at least a month to like really intake what's going on, the landscaping change, and give you the ability to be able to make the choices that you need to be made. They give you the heads up. You know, they do it with PlayStation Plus increases. Most of the time there is more time frame to adjust to this price increase and not 24 hours. That is crazy that this is 24 hours you have to make a decision. Anyway, let's get on to this. Vice President, he's the one that is doing all this. Similar to many global businesses, we continue to navigate a challenging economic environment. As a result, we've made this difficult decision to increase the recommended retail price for PlayStation 5 consoles in the US starting August 21st. Like I said, it is bonkers to me that you only get a day. That's it. The updated recommended retail prices for the PlayStation 5 consoles in the US as the follows. PlayStation 5 $550. So that's just essentially the original PlayStation 5 that has the physical, so that they're raising everything by $50. It looks like PlayStation 5 Digital Edition by that's going to be $500. You know, for those of you who don't know, you can buy PlayStation 5 without the actual disc tray in it. It's a little bit less bulky, and you could essentially buy a disc tray if you want going forward. And I think those are like $79.99. You know, right now they said that they're not raising any accessories, which is down here, but we'll keep going. PlayStation 5 Pro for $749.99. The fact that there is a console in general that costs almost $800 is absurd to think about. And I think didn't they raise the PlayStation 5 Pro already? Like, is this the second raise, or did this get adjusted any? Or is this the price that they raised it to? Because I don't have a Pro. I have a PlayStation 5 Standard Edition. This sucker right here is what I have. But, like, did they raise it twice, this Pro, or is it just once, and that's the price they raised it to? Put it in the comment section below. I'm sure someone can educate me on that matter. Very curious to hear that. If they raised it again, if it was originally $700 and they raised it to $749, I mean, that's probably what it was. It was probably 700 and they raised it once, and they're just relisting with the pro costs. I don't know. Maybe they did raise it. Maybe it was 650 and they raised it to 7 a couple months ago, and they raised it to 750 now. The recommended retail price for the PlayStation 5 accessories remain unchanged, and we have no other price changes to announce for the additional markets. Now, here's the thing. That's why I love when people say like these companies are making the most money they've ever made, because everything's more expensive. You're paying damn near the exact same that you paid last, at the beginning of the generation, and a lot of the times you're paying more. These games cost more; they don't cost less. So, when you tell me companies are making more money, I would hope so, that companies make more money, because right now companies are making absurd amounts of money. Now, in terms of hardware, this is definitely going to hurt them. I get it. This is truly a stance to raise your prices because of the tariffs and stuff that's going on. I get raising them. I'm just curious if whatever happens with the political landscaping, and if it shifts where the stance on tariffs either get completely abolished or they get dramatically reduced, is this same energy gonna go towards the price point? Like right now, when they're raising the prices, are they gonna lower them when we see the tariffs get reduced or took away entirely? There'll be certain scenarios where they raise them everywhere and not just the United States. Right here, it does look like they're just raising it in the United States, because they did say it here, raise it in the United States. But my thing is, if that is the case and they are raising it just in the United States, I would say this is probably more to do with the tariffs than corporate greed in general. I personally believe a lot of these companies that raise prices for the pandemic reasons or tariffs, they just fishing away to raise these prices, and whatever happens in the future with tariffs, like I said, if they get taken over, I highly doubt they're going to lower these prices. These prices is what we're going to pay going forward. It's just my thing with this is people wonder why consoles aren't being sold to the degree they used to be sold on. This is the reason, my dude. When it costs more to get into that console than it did 6 months ago, or 4 years ago, game prices are going up, accessories have went up, PlayStation Plus and stuff's went up, and all this has generally happened since the pandemic. Now, obviously, there was definitely price raising before the pandemic. No one's going to deny that, and I think you would be foolish to argue that that's not the case. But I do think a lot of these companies, they have raised prices over and over again. And, look, I get it. Business is put into place to make money. But I do think, it's like we say all the time on the Iron Lords podcast, not all money's good money. And, when you look at something like this and the amount of, people that is being let go in the industry right now, and you see price increases, but then you're always hearing these companies say record profits. It's kind of hard to sympathize. And, when I see this raising the price, I'm just like, that's not going to help anything. If less people buy PlayStations and less people buy Xboxes and less people buy Nintendo products because of the landscaping and the economy that we're in, and that results in less sales, and that results in less people, buying stuff in general off these marketplaces, where does that leave us? Where does it leave us in general? I don't know. Right now, like I said, prices of everything's going up, especially because of these tariffs. But what happens if these tariffs go away? Are they going to lower these prices? Or are they going to keep them where they are now? The pandemic, a lot of companies did that. They lowered prices or raised prices. Well, most of the time if they lower them, they're going to raise them. And what ends up happening is they'll try to make you feel like you're the problem. They'll try to make you feel like you're the issue. And it's just like, look, man, I don't know anything about running a multi-billion, multi-trillion dollar company, but I know that the economy that we're in now, raising your prices to this degree. It's not like absurd. It's like $50. I'm unsure about the PlayStation 5 Pro. Like I said, I'm sure someone will correct me in the comment section below exactly what that whole scenario is. But it's concerning. It's concerning for the industry in general. And, it does make me think that maybe with these new, adjustments that they made during the pandemic and the heights that they made when it comes to pleasing shareholders, it doesn't seem like they're being realistic with the situation. The pandemic was an isolated situation that led people to being stuck in houses and they could not spend money to that degree. They couldn't go out, so they're buying entertainment. And it does feel like after that, these corporations wasn't letting that go. They were going to find every means of they possibly could to maintain those growths. And that's just my opinion on the matter. Like I said, I'm not an analyst. I don't know anything about that, but that's just what I see from the outside looking in. But yeah, PlayStation raised their prices. Everyone's raised their prices at this point. We always knew this was going to happen. I actually kind of expected them to do it like the beginning of next year to try to get this holiday of hardware out the door. But, PlayStation doing what PlayStation does best. Step on rakes. But anyway, what you guys think about that in the comment section below? I'm very curious your guys' opinion on, what's the most you would spend on a console. I'm actually kind of curious on that. Put that in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. It's always appreciated. You could always sub to the channel. We make weekly content over here. I'm getting back into the sway things when it comes to content creation. Right now, I'm streaming over the Addict Arena. All that's in the description below. And until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace. Whoo, man. It's been a crazy day.